In 2017, there was a competition called First Global Challenge. It was the first Global Challenge. It actually represents kind of like the Robot Olympics for the world. Dean Kamen, actually the founder of First, envisioned a society where the youth across the world are united with robotics, where they are actually the change that we need to focus on in order to making the world a better place. After being exposed to that competition and competing in 2017 as a South African team, coming back to South Africa, seeing that robotics isn't as big as it is in the States, I felt it was important to actually give back to other students who are just like me, who would love the opportunity but aren't given it. So from there, we formed the Springbots Robotics Club as we know it today.
If we speak about schools internationally, robotics is huge. Those kids are learning robotics from foundation phase. So by the time they matriculate, they can build a pretty decent robot that can do amazing things. But if we bring it back home to here in South Africa, robotics is not big at all. Robotics is still something that we're still speaking about, that we're still trying to implement at schools. And it's really sad because our kids have a lot of potential, but we don't have the opportunities to give them to learn robotics.
When we went there, we took everything we could from teams like the USA, from Denmark, from Europe, where you focus on strategy. Strategy was very important. You focus on programming, you focus on robot build, practicing of your robot, practicing the tasks that were given. So everything that we learned in 2017 was then implemented in our robot that we built in 2018. And from those implementations, we actually managed to come 6th in the world out of 186 countries, which is pretty impressive, and we improved by 61 places. We also then won the Walt Disney Award for Creativity and Imagination. So I mean, that just shows like, wow, we really did something really great, you know? Receiving this gold medal in front of 20,000 people live, I mean, it's really a true honor.
Our learners need to understand that robotics is for anyone. Anybody can build a robot, anybody can learn how to program, anybody can learn how to design a robot. They just need to understand that by learning robotics, it's not just about robots. They can become the next astronaut. They could become the next person that designs a Formula One car. There's so much that they can achieve by learning robotics.
I think the most exciting thing, there's many aspects to it, but for me, it's definitely representing my country, putting on my gold and green colors and making South Africa proud. You know, showing the world that South Africa can also compete with other countries that have been doing robotics and been working with AI for much longer, and that we can actually like make a stand. But also coming back and gaining all the knowledge that I can gain from these teams and giving it back to the youth that actually don't have these opportunities. Because, you know, I can't change it by myself. You know, I need more people that have this knowledge. I want to give it to everybody. I want to take as much as I can and give it all out to everybody else that wants to take it in just as much as I do. We nearly missed going to the First Global Challenge because of not having funding. 3 days before the deadline, we were all sad, heads down, saying that, you know what, next time we'll try harder to get funding. However, Jason English called our team manager and spoke to her about meeting Dean Kamen and wanting to sponsor the Springbots to actually go and compete in Mexico. And on the day he met us and paid the $6,000 upfront, and we were able to compete in the competition. So he's been our main sponsor. Without him, we wouldn't have come this far. We wouldn't have gotten the success that we got in Mexico, and we wouldn't have been able to spread the word and touch other kids' lives like we are today. But it's very disappointing to think that we had to go to an American country to sponsor this initiative when we do have South African startups and South African businesses that are actually headed in the robotics direction, because what that eventually does is that leads to the brain drain from the country, where we end up going to America to work because they are interested in helping us out.
My name is Shane, the Duke Wellington, also known as MC Dookie in the house, and you're watching Joburg Today.